Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. This is episode number 259, our season 6 premiere, and we are discussing the classic 1972-73 film Baffled, starring Leonard Nimoy, Susan Hampshire, Rachel Roberts, and Vera Miles. With me tonight to discuss this classic is my friend, my co-host, the one and only, drum roll please, Mr. Ross Amico.
Hey, Roy, in case you're wondering where the cat is, wait a minute. Can we get the cat in here? Wait a minute. How do we do this? Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness. Is that Pip?
That's Pip. Man.
Oh boy.
Anyway, what did he say? It's like a mirror image, so it's hard for me to think in reverse when I hold up the computer. I think there's a way I can correct that, but it's all opposite, Roy. I'm living in a mirror universe.
The mirror universe, the evil Ross.
Which is only appropriate because we're talking about Leonard Nimoy tonight.
Absolutely.
Without the goatee, though.
Without the goatee. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. I was actually half tempted to play the groovy music, Ross, but I'm I guess it's like the evil Roy too, because I'm very on the edge of what will happen if I play it. I mean, it'll be like revisiting that first episode I did with Captain Phil, where 15 seconds of the episode got bleeped out because of him playing the music from One Step Beyond from the band. Go figure. But I'm really curious. I'm thinking if I do it under 30 seconds, maybe we'll be okay. Maybe I'll just do it for like 10 seconds. But man, just to give a taste to our audience. I mean,
yeah. Well, like our theme music isn't enough. Just imagine that.
Our theme music is cool, but now here, thanks to Jeffrey Mars. But here we go. Here. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna put it right up, and that way everybody will get an idea of what this is.
It actually gets much worse than that. Yeah, it's crazier than that. You get the bongos going, and it's definitely 1973.
Oh my goodness! I need a good laugh in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, when Roy just dropped this on me, I didn't know anything about it. I said, "Oh yeah." So he sends me the link, and I watched the first 30 seconds of the movie, and I see Leonard Nimoy in a race car with the back projection, and I said, "I'm in." Yes.
Oh my goodness!
That theme music doesn't even come in for the first, 10 minutes or so. They just drop it in randomly. They had this whole opening sequence. They could have done this the theme so much earlier.
They could have. I have to say, I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there. I liked this movie. I enjoyed this movie. This was a fun movie. Just so that everybody's clear on this.
It's called Baffled. It should be called Baffling, is what it should be called, because it's just totally baffling, but ridiculously entertaining.
It really is, and I have to thank. I don't think he's out there tonight, but I have to thank friend John Kenneth Muir for this film. I was not aware of this movie. I had no idea about this movie, and he. Leonard Nimoy's birthday was March 26th. I mean, he would have been 90. He would have been 94 years old. He passed away literally 10 years ago in the month of February. Days before his 84th birthday, and we acknowledged everything. But John was doing tributes of different films. William Shatner's birthday, they are literally 4 days apart. William Shatner's birthday is on the 22nd of March. Leonard Nimoy's is on March 26th. And John was, remembering Leonard Nimoy and, talking about his work. And he came up with this movie. And again, I had no clue about it. And I read his review, which are always excellent. You subscribe to his page as well too. And I thought, I got to check this out. And it is on YouTube for the folks out there that want to see it. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes long. The backstory is it was almost like it was a tended pilot for a series, and it was produced by the U.S. and also the UK. And what happened was, after it was made, it didn't get picked up. So as a result, what happened was, to make up for the money that for the film, they showed it in the movie theaters in the UK. And then what they did was, in the US, they had it on as like a Tuesday night or Monday, Tuesday night movie. I forget what day of the week it was on. It was in January of 1973. It was on NBC, and they showed it to the audience in that capacity. So that's kind of how all this plays out. But yeah.
Wasn't it an ITC?
It was, and jumping ahead on that, but yes, it definitely was, Ross. Yeah. And as I like to say, all roads lead to not only Star Trek, but Space 1999 in this case, because this was produced by ITC Productions, which also produced 1999, and also another company, Arena. So they were the two production companies, but yes. So
ITC. ITC is such a crazy company because they did all the Space 1999 UFO, but they also did the Thunderbirds thing and the Muppets and the Prisoner.
The Prisoner, yeah. I used to always get so excited because I'd see that the ITC symbol before Space 1999, and then to your point, like when the Muppet Show was on, they would.
Yeah, that was the weirdest when it came on before the Muppets, because that was totally not what you expected from ITC. But
yeah,
But yeah, I think it was longer than an hour. I think it was an hour and a half, wasn't it?
I think it was about an hour and 50. Maybe it was.
Yeah. And it's also on Tubi. I went up watching it on Tubi because that link you sent me for the YouTube. I don't have the ad blocker. I don't know if you do, but every 5 minutes they have the commercial come on. The ad. But yeah, on ITC you get, or not ITC, on Tubi you get the ads also. But at least they're quick and it'll go back to the program, whereas I have to keep getting up off the couch and hitting my space bar. I have to hit the skip ad, and it was making me crazy on YouTube.
Gotcha. I want to welcome our viewers out there. Eva, hey Eva, thanks for joining us. And she's saying happy anniversary. Thank you, Eva. Yeah, we hit we are in our 5-year. It's crazy. It's the beginning of our 6th season, but we've hit our 5-year anniversary, which we celebrated last week. So, but thank you for that. May is joining us. May is joining us from Canada. Welcome, May. Hey. And Jeff Rubel's out there. He's joining us from Utah.
It was one groovy movie. Yeah.
Sherry's joining us from downstairs. She's saying Pip is baffled. I see Lou is joining us. Hey, Lou. Thanks for being out there. Hope you're doing well. And appreciate it. Yes, very groovy, Eva. Very groovy. Sherry, I'm baffled by my husband's dancing. Yeah, I am too.
Well, the whole come on, Leonard Nimoy is a race car driver, who's also got the psychic abilities, and he falls in with the paranormal investigator. It's like, how could this miss? All the while that he's wearing the kerchief, the cravats and the bell bottoms, and and that day it's supposed to be like 100 degrees, and he's walking around in a polo sweater in New York City.
I have no idea about this movie, but I do love Vera Miles. Yeah, no, she's really good.
Yeah, check out this movie; it's crazy.
The version I watched today was almost 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay.
Wow, man, I'm off. Maybe I maybe the edited version. For
the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins.
I wish Bonnie Moss. I should have, and I dropped the ball. I should have reached out to Bonnie Moss sooner about it, because I mean she is when it comes to Leonard Nimoy factoids and everything, she's right on point. And I have to check with her just to see if she ever had a discussion with Leonard Nimoy about this movie. I'm really curious, but.
I have to say, for as crazy as it was still more entertaining than White Comanche with William Shatner. I watched that on Shatner's birthday. I thought, oh, what, a spaghetti western with William Shatner? This has got to be good. No, that's 90 minutes I'll never get back.
I remember the first time I saw that movie. They shot White Comanche. That was shot between the end of the first season of Star Trek and the second season, I believe. Was it first and second season.
Poor Joseph Cotton.
Joseph Cotton, I know, right? Wow, I know.
He goes from Citizen Kane to White Comanche.
Oh boy, we'll have to cover that movie sometime.
Oh boy.
On the flip side, we'll do that next. We'll celebrate that next year for William Shatner's 95th birthday.
All right.
We'll put that on hold.
He made better movies. They're more entertaining movies.
So anyway, in regards to the cast, there he is, Leonard Nimoy. Had you ever heard of Susan Hampshire before?
I didn't, but I looked at her credits and I realized that I did see the 3 Lives of Thomasina with Patrick McGowan, and she was in that with him. And apparently she did several things with Patrick McGowan.
She had three-time Emmy winner. She Vanity Fair in '73.
Yeah, she played Becky Sharp, totally different character. Apparently she played some good, villainous roles. Which I can't imagine, but
right. Yeah, she seems so sweet in this.
Yeah.
Sherry's saying, I really did enjoy this movie and think I saw it when it was on TV in 1973.
Yeah, that was a good year for trashy TV movies.
Well, what's the other one that we did? The Creatures Under the House or the Under the Sea?
The Sally.
Yeah, Tim Hutton and Tim Dark.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Yeah. Was that 73 also?
It might have been 72, but 72, 73.
Or 72. I'm sorry, Baffled. Sorry. Yeah. I thought Baffled was 73, but I must have missed it.
Well, you know what? It was filmed in 72, but it was on NBC in 73. So I think they showed it in the UK first, so I kind of went with the 72.
The bell bottoms were still in fashion.
They were still there. Just think, Ross, you and I were only like 6 or 7 at that time of our lives.
I know. When I think back, it's always earlier than I remember. Whenever it's anything from that era, I think, oh, it was 76, 77, but no, it's always early 70s, all these things.
Think back, Ross Amigo.
Yeah, it's always like 1971, 72. Yeah.
Oh, I remember being on a train with we lived in Wallington, and then we would go to Garfield, which was the next town over, and we would catch the train, and it was the PATH, and then that train would go to Hoboken. I think it was Hoboken, and then Newark. I'm sorry, and then you would transfer and take the train to go into the city, and we would go to visit my grandparents in Astoria, Queens, and I remember being on that train and just looking out the window and thinking I was like 6 years old, and it just stuck with me. It's really weird, and I never forgot that. Oh yeah, this is funny. Sherry's saying it was almost a shower scene in this too. Leonard started taking his shirt off to get into the shower, and I got excited. Lots of laughs. Then he ended up in the ocean.
He turned into a G.I. Joe and fell into the ocean. But they always have to have the close up when they're going down, like and then you see, and they throw the mannequin in. I love that part. I love that. I love the hallucinations. I was into that. Yeah,
no, this had supernatural tendencies, right? With everything.
His visions, it had his visions in it. Yeah, and those are great.
But the supernatural of 1972, 73, and today were downplayed a lot more.
Yeah, it gave it a little bit of the surreal element, a little creepy element, and but I was going to say about that. One of the times he I think I just had a hallucination myself.
Were you driving a race car, Ross?
Yeah, I had this vision of everyone screaming at me at once.
All our viewers are all 8,000 of our viewers. I mean, 8 of our viewers.
Yeah, it's like when Alderaan blew up. There was suddenly silence.
Oh shoot.
What about those hallucinations? Oh, it was I don't want to say Hitchcockian because it was not Hitchcock, but it had kind of that spellbound kind of uh, element to it. And other things. It reminded me of The Uninvited. I don't know if you ever saw the old ghost story with Ray Milland from 1944, where they go and stay in uh, an old house on the coast, on the Cornish coast, and it's haunted. And at one point, when he looks out the window, the panes were just like that. I thought, did they film this in the same house? But they didn't film in the same house. But it was it very much had that same, I don't know if it had the same atmosphere, but it was striving for the same atmosphere.
Well, no, and to your point, I mean, there are those type of films that it has that type of aura, that type of setup where they're staying over for the weekend and like in a mysterious mansion, and it's off the beaten path, and
right,
there's only so many people, and then you're hearing the wolves in the night, and the moon is coming through, and yeah. Jeffrey was saying, out of curiosity, I just looked up Baffled. The crappy rear projection is almost the first shot. Can't imagine why it didn't wow everyone.
But that's what makes it good.
Exactly. I almost did a double take when I saw that. I was like, really? But again, this is a fun movie. And I have to say, in regards to Leonard Nimoy's performance, this is about as far away from Star Trek as you can get. I mean, just with his quibs that he was, doing throughout the entire film, and his facial expressions and just his reactions, he was so dry, but it was.
Yeah.
And
well,
go ahead.
No, you.
I was just going to say, and he kept he was trying to put the moves on Susan Hampshire's character, Michelle Bren. It was hysterical. He kept trying to go out to dinner with her because everything just kind of kept pushing him off, and it was almost it was hysterical, really.
Yeah, what did he say about her? She's a good-looking chick. The character was different than Spock, but I didn't think that's where I differ though. I didn't think he played him differently enough. That was the hard, because he has his voice. He had that deep voice, and it was very measured the way Spock speaks.
Right.
Whereas I've heard him in he's made movies in the 50s. He did a movie called Kid Monk Baroni, where he's a boxer, and his voice is much higher. He doesn't have that resonant Nimoy voice, so he's much more believable in the part. And this is just I'm kind of looking at he's on his way to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
He's midway there. He saved the wardrobe, I think, for Invasion of the Body.
I was thinking that too.
But you know what? I got used to it though. In the earlier part, where he's the race car driver, it's like, oh my god. But once they get into their little adventure, it was a lot more fun, and I like the repartee or the attempt at repartee between him and Susan Hampshire.
Hey, Linda. Linda's joining us from Canada. She's saying, are there any spoiler alerts I should be aware of? I started to watch this earlier today, but I haven't finished it.
Well, that's what spoilers are. They make you aware of the ending. Yeah, there's a twist in it.
There is, Linda.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I actually, right at the end, and I'll say this, it is towards the end, as this is unfolding. Now I'm going to be on guard not to give it away. This 53-year-old movie we don't want to spoil for Linda, but as it's unraveling,
it's Zardaw's era. Yeah,
this is true. It is Zardaw's era. As this moment is happening, I'm thinking, how the heck? And then it's unveiled, literally, and I'm like, oh, that's why.
Well, there's already a twist before that, but yeah, then it becomes almost like a parody. I mean, it's not a parody, but watching it for the viewer, it's a parody.
I'm just going to put this up here and say
unintentional parody.
This is like the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Vera Miles is probably best remembered now for Psycho. She did a lot before that, but
right, of course. Yes, you should be aware of being aware.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Vera Miles was actually in an Outer Limits episode too. She did
Mm.
Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Alfred Hitchcock, obviously
Mhm.
Gunsmoke. She did her share of episodic television back in the day too. But
Yes, but
that's
this was a new low.
uh,
I mean, she's not bad in it. I mean, like I said, to the movie is fun. It's just a silly movie.
it was.
And I'm sorry it didn't get picked up for a series because I think it would have been hilarious if it had been that every week. Especially if it was the same opening for the movie because they cut the credits like they would for a TV series, but
Yes.
all the high points were drawn from the movie. Yeah, you see Nimoy fall into the water. Yeah.
Yes, she is in a Columbo episode. Absolutely.
Mm.
Thanks for sharing. And I
So
am
is
afraid
McGowan.
to. I am so afraid to butcher your name, but thank you for joining the show. We appreciate it.
So it was, yeah. So the, yeah, and he's racing in the Pennsylvania 500, which would have been in the Poconos, I assume.
Shari and I were trying to figure that out, and
Yeah.
she was saying she was. I brought up the Nazareth Speedway, and I thought no, and
Yeah.
then she had mentioned in the Poconos, but they never stated that. They just said Pennsylvania, or would that have just been the Poconos?
I think they said Pennsylvania 500 in the movie. I thought, and I didn't even know there was such a thing. I had to Google it to see if they just made it up because we all know about the Indianapolis 500.
Right.
That's the famous one. But I guess there was, or I don't, it may yet be, I don't know, a race of that name, and it would have been held in the Poconos. I mean, where I lived, I could hear that Nazareth Speedway on a Sunday night. And I was miles. How far away was I from that? I was at least what
Within a 10-mile radius, I would
10
think.
miles away, and you could hear the
Totally.
race cars.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Ross? You're right, though. Pennsylvania 500 race specifically is held at the Pocono Raceway, located in Long Pond, Pennsylvania.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I don't know it, but it is funny though, because of all the actors that you can imagine Steve McQueen being a race car driver or something like that, but Leonard Nimoy,
Yeah,
I don't know. It was a you had to suspend your
disbelief.
disbelief, yeah, and I couldn't. But later on, it comes into play because he gets into the car chase with the Bentley, the 1920s Bentley. It
Yeah.
turns into The Devil Rides Out. I kept waiting to see Charles Gray's face to turn up in the rearview mirror there as Makata. Don't look at the eyes, Rex.
The eyes, Rex. The eyes.
The eyes. Yeah.
We're Vera Miles away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's got to be a pun in there with the race car, the Vera Miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an era. Remember that the occult was very big at that point. In the movies and on television. I mean, Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist were big hits. So we had TV movies like this one, and the William Shatner one we were talking about, where he's in the airplane with the druid.
Nightmare 20,000 feet.
Is it no, not 20,000? It was.
Oh no! I'm sorry. We're talking about the movie, and that movie was like, I think it was Nightmare at 37,000 feet, and that was like 1972, 73.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on with the. Steven Spielberg did the TV movie with Darren McGavin.
Yes.
What was it? Something Evil. But there was all this stuff with there were always covens and demons and and here they have the necklace with the wolf's head on it. And it was so I don't know, it was so convoluted at times. Yeah, but
Well, the pacing was it's. I mean, it started off with the race, and it was funny because when he's racing, and I guess somebody almost clipped the side of the sign or something, and he started. It was almost like, again, Chekhov's gun, where it was a prep, a foreshadowing of what was going to happen to him, where another racer almost got into an accident, and he said, he cut it really close, and then, because he's on a break, and then when he gets back out there, he's driving along, and then all of a sudden he has his vision, and then he's envisioning, his car going into this it was into the house and almost impacting. And that's when he goes off to the side of the road, and then he winds up crashing, and he doesn't know what the heck happened.
He does reference Mario Andretti in the interview. You remember?
I do not remember that. I missed that.
Yeah, when he's on TV there at the interview, he said something about Andretti, and Mario Andretti was huge in our area.
Yeah.
Big race car driver.
Yeah.
His whole family, they're all race car drivers, but he was a celebrity.
Oh, and another 1999 reference too. An actor, and it was so funny because I was looking away and I heard his voice and I said, "Oh my goodness!" And it was Shane Rimmer. For the 1999 fans out there, he was playing an announcer. He's a Canadian actor, but he was in the episode Space Marine. And Shane Rimmer has done everything. I mean, sadly, he's since passed away. He's been passed away years ago. I actually had the opportunity to meet him at Chiller probably about 20 years ago. Super nice guy. And he was actually in the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, for the folks out there who remember that. But he also did besides 1999, he was in UFO. He also did other Jerry Anderson productions in regards to the Thunderbirds, with the voices. And if you heard him, you'd know him. Yes, Superman 2.
Oh, what did he play in Superman 2? I don't remember.
I forget, but he was in that. Hey, Randy's out there. Hey, Randy. He's saying present, better late than never, unless you're a parachute. Good to see you, Randy. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, yeah, there you go.
This movie had so many red herrings and things that went nowhere. It turns into like a Clue or something, or one of these haunted. It's like it's a mystery. Who did what. So they fill the house up with not very interesting people, like the Italian. The Italian who passes himself off as isn't he the wine?
Yes,
he's supposed to be the what do you call that? An expert of the
connoisseur.
Yeah, connoisseur. There's a term for it, but yeah, but he's not really, And then you have the other couple there that turns out they're newlyweds, and they've got the car filled up with pharmaceuticals. Oh, maybe they attempted to kill Vera Miles. Who was it?
Well, and that's the other thing too. So he's very open about when this premonition takes place. He's very open about it, and that's what attracts Michelle Brent, Susan Hampshire, to want to meet with him. And he talks about this woman that's essentially falling, and she's like, "Aren't you going to want to like warn her and everything?" And this is how things start to unravel, and then it comes to. They wind up going to England together, and thus, the U.S. English connection there, and to this house. And then when he gets to the house, it's all seeming familiar to him. And then he meets the woman that was in the premonition, and then go ahead.
In the meantime, it cuts over to the other principals, and you find out that they're going there because. Vera Miles' estranged husband. Are they divorced or are they? They are divorced because they thought he got remarried, but they're going to go and maybe reconcile, and the daughter's excited about that. So we find out about all that separately from the Nimoy Hampshire plot,
which they have no clue about whatsoever. They're not aware about any of this.
Yeah. Yeah. So what it also reminded me of a little bit. Burn Offerings. Not the plot, but the execution.
I can see that.
With the big house and and then people falling off the balcony and and the cheesy sets and everything. But all right, so it had stuff that went nowhere, like when they get locked in the elevator shaft, for instance.
Yes.
You think that's going to build to something. It's like, oh no, it's the elevator's coming down there. Oh no, it went back up. So, but they're just sitting in there, and then some guy opens the door finally, say, "What are you guys doing in here?"
it's a good way to add 15 minutes to the film, right?
Yeah, after they're stuck in the elevator for 15 minutes of the movie, and then the other thing was when they're finally going to have the kiss, and they set you up, and then they pull the rug out from under you. It's foiled because it's a sudden rainstorm.
Right.
But the whole movie is like that. It's a movie that just pulls the rug out from under you. Not always in the most clever of ways, but still entertaining.
Yeah, it's these little twists, these little nuggets that they throw at you, but it's so 70ish though. So if you're looking for a 70s film just to have nostalgia for nostalgia purposes, just to smile at.
Yeah, or if you enjoy trash. You know,
it wasn't that bad.
I admit, I enjoy trash. I mean, but it's got to be entertaining trash and not boring trash. And this is very entertaining trash. I liked it. Thumbs up.
Good
night, everybody. It's the new 30-minute format for the 6th season.
Ross got control of the keyboard, and he's
well, this is the only way we're going to be able to get into the affiliates, Roy.
He's bypassing the shout outs, and he's saying good night, everyone.
Yeah, I didn't tell you, but I bought a syndication package for the show. They wanted it 30 minutes.
Way to kick off our 6th season, Ross. Is this our Spock's brain? Although that was season 3 premiere.
I made a deal with ITC. That'll keep the Empire out of here forever. Yeah.
I must have spit.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
On that note, Jeff Ribble saying entertaining trash, Santa and the Martians.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Isn't it a comet with an nth west trajectory regarding the astronaut seeing a girl, aka Curl, control room scene? Oh boy. I'm not sure. That's a good question though. Sherry saying I like the chase scene, made me laugh. The burnt rubber sound effects when they were on dirt roads. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh boy. We're hitting a new low, Ross. Yeah. There's not a lot to talk about this film. There really isn't, but it's what I can say though is it's fun, and it again, it resonates 1970s. It's cool to see, and it is cool. It is kind of groovy to see Leonard Nimoy in this type of a role. And it is disappointing that this did not get picked up for even, let's say, 13 episode series. It would have been, I think it would have been fun. I really think it would have been really cool to have seen both him and Susan Hampshire in weekly adventures in something like this, because it would have been different. And it really is a shame it didn't get picked up. Leonard Nimoy, yes. You know what, Dave? And I didn't even say that before, because Leonard Nimoy was actually in 2 Outer Limits episodes besides Vera Miles. Again, yep, all roads do lead to the Outer Limits. Absolutely. And Dave is joining us from Florida. Thanks for being out there, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say now, damn. I'm big on starting stuff like that, because I think I'll get the floor. All right, I'm going to get the floor now. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, when you're thinking of that, I'll come back to you. Sherry said, if my daughter started acting like that, I would have left the house quick. Do we know the actress who played the daughter? She looked familiar. Yes, in fact, the irony in regards to that was in regards to the daughter, and I'm going to put her on the screen. That was Jewel Blanche, who is a country singer-songwriter and is the daughter of Arthur Blanche. And I totally did not know that.
Yeah, well, I think she attained her fame after this. She wasn't a singer yet, was she? Or at least not a known one at this point.
No, it was later on.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you had the whole satanic or occult, thing going on behind the scenes where, you kind of could figure out what was going on. That they kept saying that the proprietress of this inn was she's getting younger all the time. which because she had changed her hair once. But I thought she actually looked younger at the beginning than she did before she started doing the hair. But and then the daughter starts acting older, so we're getting that she's kind of drawing the youth from
the daughter.
From the daughter, who's obviously under the influence of the warlock father,
right?
Allegedly.
For Linda.
There's a lot that's not really spelled out, because I think the more that they would have spelled it out, the more improbable it would have been. It was already improbable enough. It got a little confusing at a point.
Well, it wasn't very clear. It was, there was a lot of insinuations, and there was a lot of it was very vague.
Yeah.
But that's what made it fun.
Yeah. I still would have liked to have seen it as a series. But it could have been another, I don't know if it would have been quite a Kolchak thing, but it could have had a one season run, like you say. They probably would have never rerun it. It'd be a cult.
Yeah.
Cult show. A cult show. Yeah.
Oh, FYI, I was describing the scene in Superman 2 with Chamberlain astronauts as Houston. You're not going to believe. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's right.
Right.
With the villains. That's yep. Thanks for sharing that, Soros.
The director, Philip Leacock, as I said, I like the hallucinations that he kind of, or the visions that he came up with, how he filmed those. And he made some movies that had some acclaim. He did The Spanish Gardener with Dirk Bogarde in 1956. He did Innocent Sinners with Flora Robeson in 58. I haven't seen either one of these, but they got a degree of acclaim. And then he did The War Lover with Steve McQueen in 62.
Oh, okay.
Which was not quite as well acclaimed. Apparently it was kind of a poor reflection of 12 O'Clock High with Gregory Peck. But yeah, it's too bad he couldn't get Steve McQueen to play the race car driver in this one. It would have been, Steve McQueen was a big star at that point, though.
Yeah.
Would have never been able to afford him. And he did a lot of episodic television, this guy, Gunsmoke, Route 66, The Waltons, The Defenders. Apparently 8 is Enough. He did a lot of the 8 is Enough episodes.
The name looked familiar to me when I initially, and I was reviewing and, in regards to the factoids and everything. And then I was like, okay. And used to watch all those shows too. So
yeah. And then he got into TV movies that he did with a lot of kind of, actors later in their careers, Vic Morrow and,
oh, wow. Yeah.
And he did one with Eva Marie Saint, believe it or not.
Okay. Yeah.
Seems a little, a little elevated for what he got into later on. My favorite, the last one he did, I don't know if you remember this, from 82, The Wild Women of Chastity Gulch. You remember that TV movie?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, Priscilla Barnes, Lee Horsley, Joan Collins, and Donny Osmond.
Wow, what a combination.
This is the show we should have done. This is the movie we should have done today. The Wild Women of Chastity Gulch was his last movie.
Wow, I don't remember that.
It was a Western. Yeah.
It's interesting, too, because Lee Horsley was in a show with
right.
Pamela Hemsley, which was Matt Houston. And yeah. I've been watching, I've been subjecting Sherry to it, too, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. The first season, I've been going back and rewatching those. I would like, we covered this on the show a while ago, actually, like during the when I started doing the show. I'd like to go back and talk about Buck Rogers again. But anyway, Pamela Hemsley was on that show. I think that was on for like either 3 or 5 years. And who else did you mention was in that? You said Donny Osmond. Donny Osmond. Yeah.
Donny Osmond. And Lee Horsley. I mean, talk about trashy movies. One of my favorite guilty pleasures is The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
He was the lead in that one. I mean, that movie is total trash, but I love it. It makes me feel good to watch that movie. It has a fantastic film score.
There you go. I want to say hi to Jenny. Jenny's joining us from Australia. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for being out there today, which is tomorrow for you in Australia. So good to see you out there. But yeah, Lou commented, and he said, I missed his comment. They also use those 70s quick zoom shots to do close-ups. Yes. Yes, they did.
I was watching the 36th Chamber of Shaolin the other night. It's one of those Run Shaw kung fu movies they used to show in kung fu theater on a Saturday afternoon. And I just love in those movies how the random zooms, they just zoom in so quickly, and half the time it like goes past the actor and the camera comes over, or they pull back. Really.
Oh boy.
Maybe we should change format. We could do kung fu podcast. What do you think?
When you said change format, I thought you were going to do that.
There you go. You scared our viewers. I got to do something about this washed out. I don't know what's going on with this computer. My own computer, I didn't have a problem like that. And I tried all the settings, and I can't get that warmth again. Look at me. I'm all chilly. Winter is coming. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know. I got to look closer at it, but I haven't been able to warm it up yet. So my apologies.
Is Pip still up there?
No, he got the hell out of here. As soon as he heard what we were talking about this week, he was gone.
Oh, shoot. Anyway. Oh, boy. What about the composer, Ross? We'll make it a quick one tonight.
Richard Hill was the composer. And I confess I didn't know who he was, but he went to the Royal College of Music, and he was a founding member of the London Gabrielli Brass Consort, which is actually a real group. It's a real respected classical group that recorded and still records. He's probably not with them anymore. I mean, he's older now, but he was a founding member of that group, and he was a freelance musician. So he played with all these big orchestras. He played with the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden. He played with the London Philharmonic Orchestra. He played with the Philharmonia Orchestra. But then he got a gig not a gig. He got a job. Is what he did. He got a steady job as a producer and arranger for, I don't know if it was Polydor. I think it was Polydor. And so he got involved with the rock scene and was able to, presumably make a better living doing that. But he was always interested in jazz too. He played incidental music of Duke Ellington in a production of Timon of Athens. The Billy Strayhorn, who was Ellington's orchestrator and assistant, he conducted the production. So he got to kind of get involved with the symphonic jazz also, and did that kind of thing. But then he wrote some film scores. Nothing for anything that I know in particular. One that jumped out at me, it was one with Alan Alda, which I had never seen, but it's called To Kill a Clown. And To Kill a Clown's got to be at least as good as Baffled.
That'll be next week, though.
And in this movie, you get like little passages like the strings as they're driving along the road, and the string orchestra, and then when he talks about the sea or the ocean or whatever, then you have the arpeggiated flutes. And he's doing the chromatic stuff, and it's like, all right, so the guy wrote a few orchestral cues, but then to Roy's point, like as soon as it's a chase, it was all funk. You get the backbeats and the electric guitars and the bongos going, and it's very 72, 73.
It really was. Now he was relatively young when he composed this movie, though, because he was only, I think, in his early 30s, wasn't he?
Probably. When was he born? Was it 42?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would have been only about 30.
Wow, it is young. Yeah. Well, there you go. But so that's who Richard Hill is. I'd never heard of him, so it was an education. Not a film score for the ages, but a very amusing one.
it was appropriate for the movie. Shari said, "You guys are cracking me up. Good to see Roy laugh without chest pains." Thanks, son.
Yeah,
Yeah, over
indeed.
that hump, to be over that, which is good.
How many
No,
weeks has it been now, Roy?
it's actually today is 51 days. It's six weeks, 2 days, but who's counting, right? Yeah,
Good for you.
51 days.
Good for you.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't even. No, what am I saying? No, 44 days. I can't even do my math. So I'll blame it on general anesthesia. Yeah,
All right.
6 weeks, 7. Yeah, 44 days. Sorry. My mistake. No, but yeah, definitely making my progress. So that pretty much, I honestly, Ross, I really don't have much more to say about this movie.
The guy who played Mike, the Mike Murray, the guy who played Sanford / Parrish, which is a semi spoiler,
Yeah.
but except nobody knows what I'm talking about. He had kind of a Robert Vaughn look to him. Could you imagine Robert Vaughn playing the part? Being like the sleazy,
Yeah.
because Robert Vaughn played a lot of villainous roles later.
Okay. And Robert Vaughn was, Cerise was saying before, Robert Vaughn did Columbo. He was actually, spoiler alert, I mean, it's Columbo. He was the villain. It was the episode where they're actually on a cruise. And I mean, the one thing with Columbo is right from the start who the villain is, and
Right.
he was the murderer.
I believe it. He
So
tried to kill Superman.
He did try to kill Superman, and Superman 3. We shouldn't even talk about that movie, Ross. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, even worse than Superman 3 was
Superman
Starship
4.
Invaders. Starship Invaders was one of the worst movies I ever saw in my life, and I didn't even enjoy that on any level. It had Christopher Lee in it. It was just unpleasant.
We should actually do that at some point.
I saw that in the theater.
Did you really? I never saw it.
Ouch!
I saw that movie. He's saying amazing episode. I saw actually that film, part of that film when it was on television, and I didn't even get.
Yeah. Well, it was after Star Wars. It was in '77, I think, when it came out. Except it was later, and and everybody's going to see, grabbing whatever they could of space.
Right.
And I saw a lot of bad movies, but there were things like I enjoyed, like Star Crash was a trashy movie, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but that was fun.
A guilty pleasure. But Starship Invasions, I did not enjoy on any level. It was just unpleasant. Yeah.
No, that was really bad.
But Robert Vaughn was in it.
He was. So. Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, I'm going to put this slide up, and this is in reference to what you were just.
Yeah, and he's not even in this movie, so I don't know why even dragged him into this to blackball Robert Vaughn for Baffled. Why did they call it Baffled? What is with that title? I mean, it has nothing to do with the.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. You would have to know to have seen the movie to know what's going on here. Anytime anybody falls off this cliff into the sea, they have to have a close up before it goes to the GI Joe falling down on the rocks. First, they crumble through that really bad styrofoam ledge. They fall through that. Then they go to the close up, and then you see. There we go.
Hey, Deborah. Yeah, painful. I don't know that hitting the styrofoam ledge or the movie or both.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, I had a ball seeing Nimoy fall into the ocean multiple times,
and then he's all wet
in this movie. Yeah, he doesn't even leave his apartment once, and he falls in.
She's saying they call it Baffled because that's the viewer feels after a while.
Exactly. Well, it was a very short trip from Baffled to In Search Of.
Will you guys show? Oh, wait a minute. Will you guys do a show on Paperman with Stephanie Powers, I think, and Dean Stockwell?
Oh,
wow.
I don't know it.
I don't know it either.
Do you know it?
I don't. We'll
have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Paperman. Man. we're 2 for 2 because I
Is it gonna be
honestly didn't know about this.
another paranormal investigator show or something?
We'll find out.
We still have to watch. What is it? The Norless tapes? Is that the one I'm always trying to get you to watch at Halloween?
Which one?
With it's another. I think it's the guy who did The Night Stalker, Dan Curtis.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but it was a TV movie. I'm going to bring it up again in October.
Okay, there you go.
And you're going to say no again.
Well, 6 months away. That's
or
only
pretend,
6 months away.
Or pretend you didn't hear me. Yeah.
What did you say, Ross?
Exactly. Roy's always so good at this. It's, oh, what do you want to do? I'll send him a list of suggestions, and it's like, oh, sounds great, Ross. And it goes to the bottom drawer.
Oh shoot! Paperman is 1971. Okay.
Okay, we'll have to look that one up. We're gonna write that down.
Stephanie Powers too, and Dean Stock. I actually met Dean Stockwell.
Did you really?
Vince and I did. We were at the Comic-Con in Philadelphia. It was 2012. It was a week before our wedding, and what it was Vince did the bachelor party thing, taking me to a convention, which was nice, and Dean Stockwell was there. He was there with oh my god, help me, not Scott Bakula.
It was just totally different.
Are you talking about
different from Blackula?
Are you talking about the William Marshall movie?
Yeah, we should do Blackula.
We'll do that too. That was 1972, I think, Ross.
I'm telling you, Roy.
William Marshall. Yeah. He was also Dr. Richard Daystrom in Star Trek and The Ultimate Computer. So there you go. Paul Rudd's lead Star Trek. Anyway, yes, Scott Black. Oh my God, you got me doing it now. Scott Bakula was there, and with him, but unfortunately, though, Dean Stockwell was not doing too well. He was hurting, and I think shortly after that, I think he passed away. But they were pretty tight. They were good friends. But it was good to see them both.
I always think about him in Blue Velvet, or the boy with the green hair.
And he's another one that did Columbo, Dean Stockwell. Yeah. In fact, it was the episode. It was one of the 3 appearances with Robert. Oh my goodness, I'm going to blame it on the general anesthesia. Robert. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. He was originally considered for Commander Koenig in Space 1999, and I can't think of his name. Oh my goodness. And the Greatest American Hero, Robert. Thank you.
Culp.
Yes.
Okay.
Culp. Yes, Robert Culp was the villain, and he killed Dean Stockwell's character.
Oh.
So.
Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, and Dean Stockwell was very young in that too.
He was also in Kim with Errol Flynn.
Oh.
Based on the Kipling book adventure.
There you go.
All the way back in the 50s, early 50s.
Yeah. And he had a brother, Dean Stockwell. I can't think of his brother's first name, he was an actor also, and he was in an Arc 2 episode, which we will be doing on the show sometime in the near future. Did you like the way I slipped that in, Ross?
I know, you're always one-upping me, Roy.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Dean was in the cruise ship Robert Vaughn episode. Yes, he was. That's right. Good point. Yeah, so we are on fire tonight with all these actors.
I know. You got a lot of people that know their arcane television shows, the minutia and the nostalgia.
Absolutely,
we're all living 50 years ago.
Yeah. It's the stuff that keeps us young.
I guess Columbo went on longer than that, though. When was the peak of that? Because I know that went on forever. It was decades.
Columbo premiered in '68. It was, I think it was
that early, huh?
But it was a movie. It was like a movie of the. No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, because he always rotated it with the Sunday night mystery, but it had already been done before that, though. Before it became
right, but that was before the Wheel, the Sunday Night Wheel. There was the movie. When you're semi-disabled, you watch a lot of YouTube. Yeah, no, it's YouTube is awesome.
We have no excuse. We just do this all the time.
Yeah, we just no.
We just watch.
But there were two movies. There was the one with it's the guy that was in War of the Worlds. He was in the
Gene Barry.
Gene Barry. He was in the first movie, I believe, and then he was the villain, or he's the murderer. The second one, I think Lee Grant was in that one. And then they went to series. It was the two movies. Then they went to series. And I say series, it was 71, where they were doing the movie. They were doing the Wheel. It was Columbo, it was McLeod, and it was McMillan and Wife. And Columbo went until 1978. It was like 7 seasons.
Right.
And then it went off the air. And then they brought it back in the late 80s, like 10 years later. And it went into the 90s. I was not big a fan of the ones that were later. I appreciated more of the earlier Columbos.
So the ones where we're seeing Patrick McGowan and Robert Culp, when were those?
That was in the 70s. But Patrick McGowan actually came back to do one of the later ones in the 80s and the 90s, and as did William Shatner. William Shatner was in the because he was originally in the one that was with in 76. And then what happened was he came back and he did, I think it was in the 90s when he did the later Columbo, if I remember correctly.
So it was kind of like his con. It was like Space Seed and then Star Trek 2. Like he got to come back and wasn't the same character though, was it?
No, different character. Yeah, totally. And Patrick McGowan won an Emmy for By Dawn's Early Light, which was, I believe, televised. I think that one was in 74. So as he was playing a colonel, and he was a murderer, and he it took. In fact, they filmed it down in the Carolinas. It was done at a whatchamacallit, where they would do. My God, what am I trying to say? It was almost like a barracks where it was a school, but for the military, a military school. And they shot it down there. They actually, filmed there instead of California.
Oh, okay.
But he won the Emmy for that year. Worst performance. I think, if I remember correctly, McGowan did 3 Columbos for the 1970 versions.
He made a movie, believe it or not, with Lee Van Cleef that the Hague's always trying to get me to get me to watch. It's on Tubi.
Okay.
What the heck's it called? Patrick McGowan. It just seems like such a weird combination. I can't imagine Patrick McGowan, who's always like. I picture him in The Prisoner. He's always very cool, and well, I guess Lee Van Cleef doesn't say that much either. But they're just very different actors. Let's see. Yeah. It's called The Hard Way. It was 1980.
Okay.
I guess they're trying to kill each other.
The Hard Way.
I'll have to check that one out.
Mark it down, Ross. Mark it down.
I know. All right. Well, clearly I'm just scraping. We're just.
I know.
We're trying to really digress big time.
Yeah, major digression. 1980, 45 years ago. That's wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. What was I doing? I was writing about something. Oh, a sale that I had gone to. I wrote something about it on Facebook. I'm always posting recollections of stuff. I realized 1990 is 35 years ago. It's like, how the hell did that happen?
Even that's messed up.
I know.
Braveheart. There you go. But coming back to this film. Oh, you know who we didn't talk about though? And then we'll wind down. Rachel Roberts.
Yes.
We were talking about how she
has a very familiar face. I was looking at her credits, and I have seen some of her other. She was in Picnic at Hanging Rock, which was Peter Weir's early international hit, if you can call it a hit. It wasn't quite, it wasn't like what we're, he did bigger movies later, but it was early in his career. He did something, and she was in it.
She did Murder on the Orient Express too. She was in that, and that was 1974. So that would have been, right after this.
Wow! So it didn't kill her career.
No. But
just Richard Widmark.
yeah, there you go. She studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, though, so she definitely had, the training.
It is Widmark, isn't it? Murder on the Orient Express, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I got your reference. Ross sliding it in there. Yeah, she was I think what did I read? Was she a Welsh actress? I think. I think.
Could very well be. Very well be. Also, the one. What was her name? I don't want to spoil the big twist at the end, but the one that plays was she supposed to be the sister or the aunt?
The aunt, I think.
The aunt, yeah. She was. What was her name? She was an old movie actress, also.
Oh, was that Angegard Rees?
I'm sorry, what's her name?
Angegard Rees, was that her?
Valerie Taylor, I'm thinking of.
I'm sorry. Okay.
She's the one that played. Well, I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But she was in movies in the 30s and 40s, so it was interesting to go back and kind of watch some clips of these films that I had seen and realize it was the same person. Because I would have never picked it out.
She was a very strong woman in this movie, Ross.
she was that. It just turns into like a Blake Edwards movie or something.
As Linda is singing away, right? To not hear us.
This movie jumps the shark so hard.
Oh shoot! No, it was enjoyable. I wish he had been given the opportunity to have done this. I think it would have been fun. I am going to talk to Bonnie Moss about this though. So.
I do feel like he was too trained at this point. You know what I mean? His delivery all the time. He has such like I was saying about Bill Scarrato last week. You can tell he's theatrically trained. Because you can he articulates so well and everything. If you go back and watch that the Kid Monk Baroni or Kid Monk Baroni and watch him in that, you wouldn't even know it's the same actor. So, but clearly this is post Spock, Spock and pre Body Snatchers. Yeah.
Well, and it would have been what? Body Snatchers came out in 78, so it would have been filmed in 77. So it was about a 5-year gap, 5 years. Around this time, I think he was doing, and I didn't look this up because I'm just going by my memory of we're talking about Leonard Nimoy. He did In Search Of. In Search Of came out, I think it was in 72, 73, 74.
That early? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
That was always on a weekend, an afternoon.
Yeah, I used to love when that was on.
Yeah,
and I think In Search Of wasn't it on for about 5 years?
It just seemed like it was always on.
Oh, you know what, Ross? I'm wrong. I'm slipping. In Search Of was 77 to 82.
That makes more sense. See, that's usually when I think everything is.
Plus,
so this time I was right.
He was doing a lot of theater too, because you got to remember, he did the 3 years of Star Trek. Star Trek went off in 69. Then he was on Mission Impossible for 2 years, so that's 69 to 71. Then he did this. He did, I think, occasional. He was again. We're talking about Columbo. He was also in Columbo, and he was in a Columbo episode with Will Geer. In fact, I'm a big Columbo fan, as you can tell. One of the things about Columbo that was very unique is Columbo would really never get mad with the villains. I mean, he would never lose his cool, lose his temper. Leonard Nimoy's character, he played a doctor. It's one of the, I think there's definitely 2 episodes. There might be 3, but Leonard Nimoy's character is one of the characters that he actually gets mad with, and he pretty much calls him out. The other one, believe it or not, is Robert Conrad, which was also a great interaction between them when he pretty much loses it with them. So yeah, but anyway, there you go.
Yeah, seeing
Oh,
Nimoy in Mission Impossible, we never found anything. Yeah,
how Lou said, I love it when Nimoy talked about In Search of and said we never found any.
yeah. Oh,
Incredible.
look, they're going to blow the lid off this Nessie thing. Uh, a
And
big
I'm sorry,
question mark about.
you were
Yeah,
starting to say about Mission Impossible.
yeah. I mean, I could buy him in that part, but
Paris
it's
the
when
Great.
he became the race car driver. That's like you know, uh, kind of flirting with the ladies. It was a little little bit of a stretch for me at that point in his career. So,
Yeah,
but it would have been fun had they picked it up and then they had a regular, because I liked him with Susan Hampshire. So
I thought they had good chemistry together, and I think just like any other series, I mean, this was the pilot, so even though it didn't sell,
yeah,
if you look at a lot of television shows in the beginning, it has to develop. I mean, there's shows that the pilots are really, the production values are fantastic, but a lot of times the characterization, the camaraderie amongst the actors isn't really fleshed out.
mm,
So it wasn't at that point, but it would. I think the two of them would have really had really good chemistry together. I am curious though what they would have called it, because would the show have been called Baffled? Is that what it would have been, or you know was this the title of the episode? You know what I mean? It's like,
right, yeah, yeah. Because Baffled was not going to fly.
no.
It's like, oh, we don't have a title, but we've got to, but we have a deadline.
Yeah.
Let's call it Baffled.
So
We're
it
back.
would have been interesting where it would have went with this. So
Yeah,
I
they
don't know if
couldn't
you're still
call
out there. I want to say hi to Marianne. If you're still out there, Marianne, I see that you were online. So thank you for joining us, even if it's just for a little bit. I hope you're doing well, and I just wanted to acknowledge you being out there. So thanks for being out there. Go ahead, Ross. I'm sorry.
no, and his name is Kovac. And at one point, somebody says something like, Kovac, that's Polish, isn't it? And he
Mhm.
goes, oh, well, I don't know, my dad was Polish and part Polish and part Irish, and then on the other side was, I don't know, German or something. I can't remember what he says. But Kovac's not a Polish name. That would have been a Hungarian name, except not the way they spell it. They put a K on the end there.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe obviously it's Middle European or Eastern European, but it didn't seem like a Polish name to me. If they shortened it, like if it was Kovakovsky or something,
Mm.
if that's really a name. Uh, but yeah, it was funny they drew attention to it.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Don't ask him what ethnicity he is. You know,
Indiana, let it go.
Kovac, that's Polish, isn't it?
Oh, here's a tidbit of information. The exterior shots of the manor house, which was supposedly in Devon, are at Taplow Court in Berkshire, once home to the family of the World War I poet Julian Grenfell
I
at
did
the
see that.
time of filming. And the estate was a telecom research base owned by the Plessy Electronics Company. And since 1988, it has served as the UK headquarters of the Lay Buddhist Society. So
No, yeah. Now that you mentioned, I did read something along those lines. Oh,
yeah,
I liked his comeback though when whoever it was questioned his background or whatever. He said, "Well, I'm part Polish and part Irish and part," which means I'm 100% Midwestern,
right. Because
Midwestern American.
he was born in
Yeah,
Ohio, I think.
yeah, 100% Midwestern American.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, again, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's only, I mean, I guess maybe I was looking at a shorter version. It was released on home video, and I think that was back in 2000. It's actually on DVD. It was released in 2014, and there are two versions. There's a UK version and there is a US version. I believe the UK version is a little bit longer than the US version. So there you go. But yeah, so for any folks out there, any last minute comments, please feel free to post them out.
Yeah.
And with that, anything you want? Oh,
Good night. Good night, Ryan.
Again, all roads lead to Star Trek. Obviously, Leonard Nimoy.
There you go. He's so, I'm preaching to the choir there. He was so good as Spock. That was another problem. I mean, what do you do to follow up Spock? You know what I mean? It's like no matter what he did, he was going to be remembered for that role.
Yeah.
I mean, because yeah.
Here's the thing, too, Ross. I mean, as now Leonard Nimoy, I mean, he was acting at least 18. I think it was about 18 years before Star Trek even was on the air. I mean, Star Trek, he did the first pilot 64 with Jeffrey Hunter, November 64. Then they did it in July 65. He did it with William Shatner because it didn't sell. And there, again, a pilot, right? The pilot didn't sell. Then Star Trek with William Shatner sold. So from 66 to 69, I mean, as much as a big Captain Kirk fan as I am, I mean, Spock was, identified. I mean, when anybody thinks of Star Trek, I mean, Spock was so widely recognized. I mean, conceivably, one of the most popular characters of the show.
Of any show.
Yeah, of the show, along with, Captain Kirk and everything. But the point being, then the show went off the air, and then you still have your career as an actor, and you're trying to get work. So, I mean, he did the 2 seasons of Mission Impossible, but then what, And then what's really got to be frustrating too is at that point in time, residuals for doing episodic television were maybe 6 episodes. So you got paid 6 times over, and then it's done. And then when you think about the money that all of the actors did not get for doing Star Trek, I mean, from a financial standpoint, that's crushing. From a career standpoint, you try to go for work, you try to audition, and you're always recognized for that specific role because it was such a landmark role. And I really feel that William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, they were typecast, but they did a lot of different things. I mean, I think they broke through that. With a lot of the supporting actors, I think not as much. I think some of them were really hindered by it. But wanting to really have a different, embrace your career and show your range. So that's why I felt with this, I mean, at least he was doing different types of reactions, and he was acting, obviously, but we're so used to him. And to your point, Spock was a brilliant role. I mean, he mastered it. I mean, he nailed it, but it still has to be frustrating from a career standpoint, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it wasn't just Star Trek. I mean, he's one of he's probably in the top 5 most iconic TV characters of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a tough burden to have to carry. It's like, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah, and even with and folks make reference to I am not Spock, and then it was misunderstood. It was at least that's what he had said in many interviews. It wasn't that he was saying that he hated Spock. It's just that he that's not who he was. And then later on he came out with the book, the follow-up book, I Am Spock. But it wasn't. It's But anyway,
I'll get off my back.
He's definitely one of the great ones, though. So definitely remembering him for that. But again, it would have been kind of cool. But just trying to think. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the shout outs, and then we'll come back if anybody has any questions or wants to add any comments. Thank you for that.
Oh, that's very kind.
We appreciate it. We're glad you enjoyed the discussion tonight.
We're obviously just kind of throwing anything out there we can get our hands on.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of material, and I mean, it's tough too with this specifically. I wish we had more back information.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's such an unknown
yeah
project. There's really not a lot of stuff you can find about it. Yeah.
And again, I'm kicking myself because I should have talked to Bonnie, so that's on me. So Bonnie, if you're
Yeah.
watching, I apologize. I didn't reach out to you sooner, but because Bonnie, I mean, she is a fountain of information.
You're
Just
always good at.
go ahead.
Mhm. No, I said you're always good though with knowing the backgrounds of the different actors or what else they've done in TV and.
Yeah. Well, I try with certain, and again, Leonard Nimoy. To your point, I mean, he did a lot of theater. He was doing Equius. I think he was doing that on Broadway, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah. Okay, was he the
70.
doctor? I guess he was the.
Yeah,
Who was he in the movie? Was Richard Burton played him in the movie? Who played him in the movie?
that's a
It
good
was like
question. I'm
Anthony
not sure.
Perkins and Richard Burton or something.
Could have
Yeah.
been.
Okay. So he played on one stage on Broadway. You said.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In fact, Sherry's brother. I think Tom actually ran into him around that time that he was on
Yeah, that was
Broadway in New
Peter
York.
Schaffer, the guy who did Amadeus, did that one. It
Oh,
was one
did
of
he
his,
really?
yeah, one of his earlier ones. So
Hey, Dennis. Thanks for joining us. Dennis is joining us from Canada.
yeah,
Good
it
to
was
see you
Richard
out there.
Burton. Richard Burton and Peter Firth.
Oh, Peter Firth. Okay.
Yeah. And Jenny Agutter, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
From
That,
Logan's Run.
yes. It's been quite a while since I've seen that movie around.
Hmm.
Equus. Remember the
Yeah.
poster though.
There you go. With that said, heading to the shout outs.
Mm.
So I want to give a shout out to our friend Bill Scorado for Countrygate Theater. Countrygate is going to be talking about fun, powerful shows, Death of a Salesman. And that will be, the performance dates will be ranging between May 31st and June 8th. If you are in the Belvedere, New Jersey area, you may want to check it out. And the website for Countrygate is www.countrygate.org. Also, check out Bill's website as well too. He also posts about things that he's got going on personally, and that is www.billscorado.com. Now, our friends Mike and Mary Beth are on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. I reached out to Mary Beth, but I didn't hear back from her. I'm not sure what they're doing next Wednesday, so I'm sure they will be posting, and that'll be on Facebook. You can check them out. They're on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And like I said, I'm sure they will have it posted probably by Monday what they will be discussing for next week. So check out Sci-Fi Distilled. And also our friend Captain Phil from Captain Phil's Planet, WUSB 90.1 FM, Stony Brook, New York. The captain's schedule is now. He's actually on Friday nights from 9 to 11:30 p.m. and he's also on alternating Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. So definitely check out the captain. Also want to give a shout out to friend Jeffrey Morris. Jeffrey is doing the Eagle Obsession documentary, and the film is going to be released this year. And for informational updates in regards to it, you can go to the website, which is www.eagledocumentary.com. And actually, the film is going to be released at Wonderfest, which I will be talking about in a minute. So come back to that. But I'm very excited about this. So check out Jeffrey's website. Also, just so everybody knows, our friend John Kenneth Muir, the Kickstarter was in effect for Abnormal Fixation for the second season. That is going to be coming to an end. It's either today or tomorrow, I believe. I have April 11th on the slide. So just if you haven't already, definitely check out on the website, which is on the Facebook page for Abnormal Fixation. I've had John on the show twice to discuss the series. It's an amazing series, and we're very excited about the second season with him, going into production. But any help that you can do towards the Kickstarter is greatly appreciated. And again, that is for Abnormal Fixation. And I want to give a shout out to our friend Lou. Lou is out there. And again, if you haven't seen Lou's film, Found in Space, definitely check it out. It is available for streaming on YouTube. And Lou, if you can put the URL in there. And then also, there was a prequel to that movie. if you can share that as well too, Lou, as well, just for the viewers, and then that way they can click on it. In fact, Ross finally got to see it, and he very much enjoyed it. So
I saw the second one. I didn't see the first one yet. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check that out. Real quick, I just want to say hi to Bill. Thanks for joining us, Bill.
Yeah.
And also, I do the weekly podcast with friend Warren Friedrich, and this is the Space 1999 podcast is entitled This Episode. New episodes are generally released on Sundays. The next one we will be doing is episode 21, The Infernal Machine. I'm not sure if we're going to be actually doing it this weekend. It may wait until next weekend, but just wanted to let make sure everybody's aware. You can go back and watch it. They are posted on YouTube. And also, I was just talking about Wonderfest. So with Wonderfest, it's the 35th anniversary of Wonderfest that's going to be taking place. It is going to be May 31st to June 1st, and it is in Kentucky. The website for Wonderfest is www.wonderfest.com. Our own Alan Carter, Nick Tate will be at Wonderfest attending. And of course, I was just talking about Jeffrey. Jeffrey is going to be showcasing the Eagle Obsession. It's going to be shown for the very first time at Wonderfest. So definitely mark your calendars for that. And again, that is May 31st and June 1st. And that is right around the corner. And also talking about Star Trek Original Series Set Tour. If you have not been there, you definitely want to check it out. And the captain is going to be back, the captain being William Shatner, and he will be there June 27th, 28th, and 29th. For the website address, it is www.startrektour.com. Also, Franz Nguyen is going to be there, who was the Dolmen of Elas in Elan of Troyes. And then also, we were talking about the evil Ross earlier, or the Mirror Universe. Barbara Luna, who is the captain's woman, Lieutenant Marlena Moreau, is going to be there as well. So it's going to definitely be a very exciting weekend, a fun weekend. Definitely mark your calendars. It's June 27th, 28th, and 29th. And I'm just going to go back real quick. Lou just posted on the URL. Thanks for sharing, Lou. And there you go. So if you want to check that out, folks, you can go right into the link. And Bill was saying he watched it and then liked it. So thanks for sharing that too. Well,
I think Hamish Binks is a great name.
It is a great name.
Yeah. It seems like Alan Dean Foster would have written a series of adventures with Hamish Binks.
Alan Dean
Foster. He always had the Flinks and Pips and Pip novels. He did all the novelizations of the movies, and
yeah, he did Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back in the day, so long ago. Speaking of conventions, the Los Angeles 1999 convention is going to be taking place, the 50th anniversary celebration. It's going to be from September 12th to the 14th, and I have 2024. It's actually 2025, folks. Again, general anesthesia. I'm not, or basically not typing correctly. For information in regards to the convention, you want to go to the website. It is www.space199950years.com. There's going to also be a very special event going on because it's going to be the first time two conventions are going to be linking together. The Italian convention is going to be, the convention in Italy is going to be going on at the same time. And that will be taking place on Breakaway Day. So definitely check the website. And this is SpaceCon 7 that will be taking place in Italy. And we'll be conversing with our Italian friends during the event. So mark your calendars for that. I want to give a shout out to my son, Ryan. Ryan has a website, which is Run by Ryan, Empower Your Run. In fact, Ryan, I got to give him a shout out. He just raced last Sunday in a race in Tennessee, and he came in 5th for that. He placed, and he just had such a ball doing that, and it was just a wonderful experience. And yeah, just so proud of him. Just it's a thing of passion with him, and he it's just so much fun. And he has been coaching. And if you are interested, you can go to the website. It is free to register. There's no charge associated with it. If you want to go to the next level and you are looking to have him coach with you, then definitely check out the different tiers for that. And Rye's website is www.runbyryan.com. Well, thanks, May. And I want to give a shout out to Studio One Thrift for Martha. Studio One Thrift showcases a fantastic lineup for all seasons, all year long. Quality, stylish, affordable clothing for both men and women. All you need to do is register. You can go to www.studio1thrift.com, and in order to receive styling tips and informational updates, you must register. There's no charge for that, but again, just make sure to subscribe. The physical store location is in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and you can definitely visit. And Martha has a wide range of items there, so definitely check that out as well. And Ross, if you can let everybody know what you got going on.
That is not the same sweater, by the way. I just have 100 blue sweaters and similar shirts. I'm like an action figure, Roy.
I know you open your closet door, right, yeah. Ross, and then they're all Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they're all the same, except for the tie-dye one.
Except for the tie-dye one that I shake out once a year. Yeah.
Just to appease me.
Just to appease you, make you feel good. Yeah. So these are the three shows that I'm doing right now. Picture Perfect's the movie music show, and in fact, since we're getting off early tonight, you can actually tune in because it's on right now at KWAX. And I'm doing all music. Tomorrow night's Passover, so I'm doing all music from biblical epics from the Old Testament, and then next week for Easter, I'll do biblical epics from the New Testament. So this week I've got 10 Commandments is going to be on any second now. Elmer Bernstein's classic score, but also on the program is Samson and Delilah by Victor Young. Solomon and Sheba by Mario Nashim-Bene, and Sodom and Gomorrah by Miklos Rozsa. So that's what's on right now on KWAX. Sweetness and Light's the light music program. So tomorrow morning's April in Paris. It's all not necessarily all French composers, although about half the program is French, but composers that were all inspired by Paris, and it's all music of a lighter nature. And the Lost Chord tomorrow night, since it is Passover, I'm doing settings of the Song of Songs because apparently, I don't know, I've been to a number of Seders over the years and I've never encountered the Song of Songs, but apparently it's part of the observation of Passover that you read from the Song of Songs. So whether that be the case or not, the program's called King Solomon's Lines. So they're all settings of lines from the Song of Songs tomorrow night on the Lost Chord at 7:00. Eastern time. These are all actually being beamed out of the West Coast. So if you're out there, it's, obviously 3 hours earlier at kwax.uoregon.edu. I tease them at my Facebook page at Classic Ross Amico. So if you can't hold all this in your head, just go to my Facebook page. This day of the show, I always write a post about it. So that's it. Thanks. Oh, and if you haven't followed the page, be sure to, do what you want.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. No, everybody's over it at this point.
Follow it.
Yeah, we're over it. Everybody's jaded with this social media stuff.
Cut them off. Cut them off.
But I'm there if you want me.
Get the hook out. You sold it, Ross.
Yeah, I've never been one for self-promotion, right?
With that said, if you have enjoyed this show tonight, we are on Facebook, as most everybody out there knows. So if you haven't done so, as Ross has put it out there, please follow, like, and share. And I say share that just to get the word out. There might be folks that really like, science fiction, or just like our banter or digression, or just all three and more. But anyway, and then also we do this on YouTube as well. And then with YouTube, it is subscribe and share. And again, for both, there's no cost to that. And we thank you and we really appreciate it. So thanks for that. And with that said, Ross and I will be back next Friday, April 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This will be episode 260. Wow. And I don't know what we're going to be discussing yet, so stay tuned, and we will post it out.
We've had a few interesting, possibilities we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't have a chance to finalize anything, but we will do something.
We will.
It's like the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. It's 36th Chamber of Shaolin, Roy.
Oh boy!
Welcome to Kung Fu Theater.
Bill said it's not the general anesthesia; it's the increased blood flow. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh boy! Glad you're enjoying our show. We appreciate it. So, but yeah, and hey, you know what? We did an hour and 43 minutes of this, so you know what? We did pretty good, Ross.
We get a lot of mileage out of this stuff, Roy.
Yeah, no. It's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, if you like the 70s, you like the nostalgia, it's groovy. It's good. It's fun to see Leonard Nimoy. That's one thing I have to say. I always enjoyed, especially with whether it be Star Trek or Space 1999, my two favorite shows. Not necessarily in that same order, but the point is, I love seeing actors from shows that I enjoy in different roles. I think it's so cool. So it's especially if they're a lead, and this is a perfect opportunity for that. So, and it was something I was not aware of. Again, thank you to John Kenneth Muir for that. I dropped the ball with John, and I dropped the ball with Bonnie. We probably should have had both of them on, Ross, because it would have been very interesting to have talked to them.
Yeah.
About it. So I dropped the ball on
Live
that.
and learn. You thought I was going to carry it. And it bit you in the ass.
No, it's fun. So, but hey, you know what? We can revisit it sometime. So there we go.
Definitely one we need to revisit.
Because we got so much more to talk about.
You should check out that kid Monk Baroni too, where he plays the from 52, where he plays the boxer. Just because he's really acting in it, he's really different. He's really different from Spock in that one.
I just saw a clip from that not too long ago.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and he was very young in that. My God, he would have been well. He was born in 31, so he's probably 21 years old.
Of course, though, it was the same year he made Zombies of the Stratosphere.
Yes,
which I have not seen. He's not the lead in that one, though.
Yeah. Mission Impossible must be a great mixer for. Yeah, Mission Impossible, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I like the earlier Mission Impossibles, though. But definitely enjoyed that. So, any last words, Ross?
I said enough.
Okay. Well.
Except for, if you observe, have a lovely Pesach. Happy Passover.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely.
Next week, we'll wish everybody a happy Easter.
Yeah, and then whether it be Passover or Palm Sundays on Sunday. That's awesome. So there you go. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, everyone, be safe. Thank you for tuning in as always. We really appreciate it. And live long and prosper. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.